Connect the dots, family. Connect the dots, unity. Connect the dots, for you and me. Connect the dots.
Good morning. I say good morning to the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is Adela Fonsi Donnerstog here with you this bright Monday morning. And of course, there's a couple of things that we need to discuss this morning. But I just want to say I hope that everyone is having a safe time, during especially what is considered to be special in our history, unusual circumstances, as I would call it. And that is the issue of this pandemic that ain't seem to be giving us any rest. Every minute you hear that there's a new variant that is surfacing somewhere, and of course, many people tune into Dr. Fauci and other professionals for some kind of direction and advice on different things. And when you hear persons, professional people like that on that level, actually telling you that we're going to have to learn to live with it. And that is somewhat, the numbers are going down and it's subsiding. And that is somewhat encouraging for many people. I mean, I'm talking about throughout the world, not just the U.S. Virgin Islands. But before I even continue providing updates, I want to, for a second, just pivot here and extend condolences to some of the families out there. I mean, we have Big Daddy Estrell that passed. I'm so sorry, and it's unfortunate I missed his funeral. I considered him to be a dear friend. I considered him to be a person that was very vigilant and issue-oriented, but focused on what he wanted to do, indulging in his own respective businesses, and he'll be sorely missed. You got Irma Pamela McDougall. I wanted to extend condolences to her respective family. And then we had a person that I've known all my life, practically, which is Mr. Leroy T. Waldwin. Just wanted to extend condolences to Dallas, Paul, the rest of the family, just everyone in the family, because I know it can't be an easy time. And I pray that God comfort all the families during such a difficult time. We got Marcelino Cabo actually passed as well. Condolences to her family. And then we have from St. John, Shanice Monique Boynes. Just wanted to extend condolences again to all the families. And that we continue to see so much people passing. And I mean, the older you get, the more people passing that you know. And I happen to know a lot of these people every day. I pick up the newspaper. I just fear just the names that I see. But we want to pray for families in the Virgin Islands, pray for all persons that might be ill in some way, and hope that pray for a speedy recovery for each and every one of them. And along the same note, I was quickly reminded about all these killings, and the young men that actually passed on St. Croix, only the tender age of 17. And that's another way that we're losing so many lives. And we can only hope that the administration, that they come up with some innovative and creative ways to actually start reaching some of these young men to ensure that you give them an option as to where they can venture, where they can explore, where they may find opportunities that are constructive to ensure that they can make valuable contributions just to society. But that is that. And moving along, folks, we got the State of Territory coming up this evening. And I know many of you are eager to hear what the governor has to say in terms of what projects are going to be new on the drawing board. And this morning, the topic that we're going to discuss is, what is a capital project? So we're going to be discussing capital projects. But I think it's important, this particular topic, because it touched the lives of many, practically touched everyone's lives. People drive on roads, people visit the hospitals, people depend on utility, people depend on a lot of things. And the State of the Territory address, and I wanted to navigate back to some years where the governor actually, I think it was on VI, The Source, where a statement that was made by the governor, and this thing was back in June 2020. I think it was around June 17th of 2020, and I want to draw your attention to one thing in particular, and that's the issue, and I'm going to quote what the governor said back then. And he actually said, in total, the territory has over 5.6 billion. I'm going to repeat it again. 5.6 billion available in federal grant and recovery funds to expend. And my administration is committed to ensuring that as many projects as possible are started, if not completed, within fiscal year 2021 to help to offset the projected revenue losses resulting from the pandemic. And again, I quote, that's what the governor said. Now, the question that I have on that particular issue is, if back in 2020, you said we had $5.6 billion available, we're in 2022 now. The question that you have to ask is, how much of that $5.6 billion have been spent? And Virgin Islanders, do you realize that if we have $5.6 billion available to us here in the Virgin Islands by federal grants and federal recovery funds, you would think that there would be a large amount of money in circulation. And of course, capital improvement projects like you could never imagine. The only thing that I have seen significant, we had the little, well, the waterfront apron, which is Veterans Drive, which was rehabilitated, and that started in the MAP administration and concluded in a portion of, or the initial part of this current governor administration. But where is the significant other projects? Now, I'm tempted, as a person who's certified in city management, as a person who has experience, budgetary experience, served as chairman of the finance committee for a term, 2 years, balanced budgets successfully, or participated in them, spearheaded them, took the lead as finance chair. I have to ask the question, do we lack capacity to manage that level of funds in the Virgin Islands? Because it would seem to me that the administration would be vigilant in tapping folks that they feel come with a level of experience and be able to assist in making sure that not only these projects get off the ground, but there's a significant amount of money in circulation. And you see, I would marry opportunities because that would provide opportunities. I would marry the opportunities to even our young men and young women, from the housing communities to everyone. Opportunities to work, opportunities to develop skills. Because you see, one of the things that you will hear them tout is that, oh, they're bringing people in from outside because the workforce in the Virgin Islands lack skills. Come on, lack skills? How long would it take for you to develop a particular specialty, a concentration? On-the-job training, that's what it's called. There are many, many opportunities or many professions in all these different respective areas where our young can, in fact, transition into and be able to provide services, be able to, make a valuable contribution to their community. But are we truly reaching out to them? So when we're discussing capital projects this morning, and then of course we'll discuss the Public Finance Authority and what the Public Finance Authority is supposed to be doing at this time, there are many things that I've already questioned, and many of you that listen to me know that. And when we talk about capital projects, I would navigate even down to the Port Authority, that airport project. And while I'm on the subject of Port Authority, I read in the newspaper the other day that apparently one board member is trying to get another board member unseated from the board. And then rumor has it that the one board member questioned some ethical practices of another board member, which seemed to me that something is brewing down at the Port Authority. One board member questions the other board member in terms of their interests. Interest in what? Interest in our respective tenants, a leasee. What is it? We need to get a clear understanding of what it is. But I know that they're trying to get the one board member removed from the board because they say that that board member is actively employed with the Department of Tourism, and the law says that they can no longer serve in a capacity or that capacity as a board member if they're gainfully employed by the executive branch of government. But that's a strumu or dilemma that I will indulge in the very near future, because this contention of one board member against the next is not in the best interest of Virgin Islanders. Because if they're not focused on making sure that the Port Authority is run correct or run a certain way and run at a certain level and look out for the employees of the Port Authority, and their primary focus is on who should be serving on the board, it seemed to me that something is going on there when you have a board member questioning whether or not there's conflict of interest among another board member. And that's going to be interesting, and it's going to be something that I myself, I'm going to be looking into it, because I think it's worth looking into. And Virgin Islanders want to be apprised and aware of abreast of everything that's going on. And that's certainly something that is going to come full circle. So coming back now to the discussion this morning and what we're going to be discussing this morning, and that is
Virgin Islands nice, so nice. Sure. I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Dry, nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Hey, when it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of we continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. Hey, remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn, and Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Yeah. St. Cry produced the band Midnight, and them the kind of roots make the fire ignite, yo. Julian Jackson was a champion in the ring. I know him 3 son, them a do the same thing, yeah. Tim Duncan come from the VI, one of the greatest, and the world can see why, yeah. If you ever ask me where I'm from, born in the Virgin Island, and the whole place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas, nice, so nice, so nice. St. Cry full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. The Virgin Islands nice, so nice, so nice. Rock City sweet and nice, so nice, so nice. Twin City full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. Love City a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, I'm so proud to be from the VI, a place of history like the African side.
Talking about a land of beauty, we call it paradise. He wants to come down and check we down in the Virgin Isles. We had a share of problems, we know you have yours too. We're doing our best to solve them, we want to welcome you. Come feel our gentle breezes, marvel at our sandy shore. Our crystal sparkling waters, that you can ask for more. St. Thomas, St. Paul, St. John, next door to the PDI. Filled up with fascination, your interest we will satisfy. Some people they try to top us, but man they just cannot. I suggest you come and join us, because the VI hot. Hey. Up your hand them high, know that you from the VI. Wave your flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party, show them we rule this fete. Show them we have energy, tired man we'll never get. VI, we from the VI. Oh, VI, we love the VI. Oh, yeah.
If we're not careful,
Water Island, you're amazing. Yeah, yeah.
A couple of different projects. Then certainly the people that are talking about all Virgin Islanders will not feel that sense of hope.
Some of us leave these islands all over the world we roam. When it comes to carnival time, be ready to come back home. To eat boilfish and fungi, cherry and torments too. To drink passion fruit and mommy, see mustard name a few. We have to catch up the juve, jump up behind Jamban. We have to be in the parade, jumping with just action. We have to swim in way, cookie points and mess up too. We have to visit Ceylon, from where we have to be. St. Paul is our biggest beauty, historic sites galore. I suggest you come and join us, come down and take a tour.
Then certainly there's something that is taking place, and perhaps again going back to what I initially said a few minutes ago. Do we lack capacity?
Shout it out, VI, put up your hand high. Know that you from the VI, wave the flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party, show them we rule this fete. Show them we have energy, tired man we never get.
And they can provide a level of capacity, but in actuality, they have the about these large rewards for special requests. And I'm talking about contracts under Whit O'Brien, contracts in different areas, the suspension of spending federal dollars to wait until the Calm Dicko Kareem buy an Ashcroft plan to make sure that he's able to corner the
Packed up with friendly people who will greet you with a smile. Cupping of pride and culture, that is the Virgin Isles. We teach you some old tradition, that's a place we step up to. We'll show you an old plantation, for history old and new. Come down and spend your money, shopping is duty free. Purchase our rum and clothing, artwork.
Yeah. So I'm not understanding what exactly is transpiring with these capital projects. You're talking about roads, you're talking about hospitals, you're talking about schools. It hurts me every day that I actually see E. Benjamin Oliver School that is there dormant, a facility or a structure that can be utilized for something. Because after all, the infrastructure, that school in particular, was not that rotten or not that deteriorated to the point where it actually posed a significant danger to occupants. So, I mean, I could go on and on about capital projects, but I know that there are folks out there that have specific questions. And for those folks on social media, I discussed the issue of in the Motor Vehicle Bureau, which I'm sure for many people that come back home and see the same stalls out in the back, you wonder at what point we're going to see significant progress where it's uplifting, where they are actually improving the facility to the point where that facility looks promising, looks encouraging, looks inviting for vehicle owners as they register their cars. All of this contributes to the quality of life. I keep saying this repeatedly. It contributes to the quality of life. But I know that my voice is not falling on deaf ears, and each and every one of you out there listening to the program, whether for or against, whether naysayer, whether regardless of who you are, they all listen to me. Because the one thing they can't say is that I'm not making sense. Because you see, I go based on facts. So when you hear me say that the governor in June 17th of 2020, he indicated that there's $5.6 billion available to the territory in federal awards or grants and recovery funds. You know what you got as Virgin Islands have to start asking? Show me the money. Where's the money? Why withhold any money from being expended? Why slow down capital projects? Road paving should have been on a high level. That Virgin Islanders, every day they wake up, they see some activity taking place, or they learn or hear of some activity or road paving taking place someplace on the island. This should have been ongoing. There's enough from road paving company to contractors here in the territory. And never mind when we talk about the infrastructure. When we drive around, we look at an entire landscape. But the infrastructure, the assets of the government, I'm wondering, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? We're not seeing it. We're not feeling it. And many of you Virgin Islanders know exactly what I'm talking about. I could pivot for a second over again and something that infuriates me every single day. And I'm talking about this home repair program. Envision tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is today. So now we're going to say tomorrow again. And it's been going on for years like that. I want to know, you know, and if I may just say something here. And again, I do my research. You know, a couple of my campaign workers were offered positions, mysteriously received letters for appointment, and I leave it upon every individual, even supporters, on what they choose to do. But I think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you could be using federal funds and local funds for obviously politically driven purposes, that you would attempt to go and hire your opposition supporters in one way. But that is very genius in one way. But I'm telling you, we better be careful when we talk about ethical standards, ethical practices, understanding public administration. Let them continue operating the way they operate in, because you will head down the wrong road eventually. Because you see, greed takes you down the wrong road. And we know, folks, you know, you can watch, you listen, and I'm sure you can relate to exactly what I'm saying. You got some folks that will just, their profession is to make money off the government. And when I say their profession is to make money off the government, I'm not talking about the little contractors out there who should be afforded opportunities, and for those who get breadcrumbs and they're able to actually get bigger projects. I'm talking about those who orchestrate to just rape the government in one way or the other. They're able to just transition or create a different path or strategy to just get the government to overpay for services. And in the meantime, and I say this all the time, power is not created to hurt people, it was created to help people. But when it falls into the wrong hands, you have a lot of casualties. And I'm talking about the landlord that, because he doesn't have political ties, that one with political ties decide that he's going to lure a tenant out of his building to cripple him, to hurt him, and for them to be able to benefit, be rewarded, generate revenues for establishment in serious proportions. Interesting. But you know, when Adler Fonsi Donna Stork talk, I know they're listening, but be assured that when I talk, it's because I know for a fact. And it's going to be interesting in the next coming months, because I believe in the next coming months, people are going to have an opportunity to hear a lot of things being spewed from the mouths. Again, I'm immune to attacks. I take them every day. And while I've championed causes to help the people of the Virgin Islands in many, many ways, that doesn't matter to them, especially if they consider you to be an obstruction to the wrong that they're doing here in the Virgin Islands. And they expect Virgin Islanders to not say a word. They expect Virgin Islanders to just sit back and say to themselves, well, you know what? What's new? They've been doing this all the time. So let them continue doing it. We have a lot of things to be corrected here in the Virgin Islands, and I keep telling folks that if we are not careful, by the time all these funds are expended, most of the major contracts are probably going to go to their operatives. The day. From the water to the pot to your mouth, everything is fresh at Catch of the Day, located on Cookie Point Beach. Enjoy some of your favorite seafood dishes, fresh catch, lobster, tang, and whelks when in season, as well as surf and turf. They cater to your wishes. While you sit and wait for your food, enjoy the friendly bar and bask in the ambience that is second to none. Enjoy the white sand, sun, and crystal blue water. We are sure the experience will be unique. Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come and enjoy Catch of the Day on Cookie Point Beach. I know that many of you, yeah, I know that many of you are tuned into this program from time to time just to listen to what new is taking place. And again, this morning, I wanted to place that emphasis on the capital projects because I know many of you, you go around and, of course, you look at the infrastructure, you look at just different areas from hospitals to the schools to the roadways. And as much as you might think that it's not affecting you, let's say, for example, the roadways, potholes, roads that are deteriorated to the point where it's not good or conducive for a vehicle to go down there without experiencing serious bumps. It's costly because it damages your vehicles, and of course that impacts you negatively. So that's why Virgin Islanders are grasping, they're begging, we are asking for our roads to be repaired at a greater pace. I know the Commissioner of Public Works is listening to me, who's the responsible party, the responsible administrator. And we can only hope that that they actually increase their effort in getting all these roads repaired, because there's, again, a lot of Virgin Islanders out there that is very disturbed by that. And, when we talk about schools, and I have some questions about the Arthur Richards School on St. Croix, because I understand that a contract was let for that school reconstruction to the tune of, if I'm not mistaken, about $200 million that is going to be available for that school. we need to find out who all the principals are, who all the benefactors are going to be. Is there any consultant being afforded a commission agreement or a consulting agreement on that project? Because you see, I think that some of these projects that you hear on the drawing board, they're driven by things that cause delays. They're driven by things that may produce or provide some very interesting dynamics that Virgin Islanders, once they learn, they would be disturbed about. But that's going to be another thing that we're going to be discussing in terms of the existing conflict of interest, whether conflict of interest laws. We had this in the past. We discussed this in the past. But these capital projects need to get moving. Because if you're saying $5.6 billion, with $5.6 billion, we could actually go into education and put a laptop in the hand of every student, to include the teachers. Does not make sense? Because that kind of money floating around, or you're claiming that is available to us in federal grants, we can ask for waivers and some of those federal grants and perhaps try to approach that differently. Because as I explained and I said weeks ago, if you're telling the students that they have to be taking class virtually, not every student is guaranteed internet service in their house. So the parent have to go out and pay for internet service. And on top of that, not every student is guaranteed to have a computer to be able to get on the internet. So what they're left with, I know a lot of them may have a little cell phone. But I'm not sure a cell phone would be an effective tool in participating in getting a valuable education. So you see, there's a lot of little niches here that I'm not hearing is being addressed. And if we're not able to address these things holistically, it creates a problem. The quality of education in the Virgin Islands, is it being affected? But let's start with the environment. An environment that is conducive for teaching, an environment that is friendly, an environment that is environmentally sound. These schools need to be repaired. I'm quickly reminded of the education maintenance program, to resurrect that, to increase the number of persons that can actually participate in the program. From the instructors, we're talking about we have a workforce in the Virgin Islands that lacks skills. Common sense would tell us that we have to find ways, creative ways, to make sure that our workforce becomes skilled. A lot of these young men coming out of school, and women, they're interested in trades, but where is the platform for the trades? But folks, infrastructure, capital projects, schools, hospitals, roadways, these things are very, very important. And I'm not just saying important to a few, important to everyone. You know, I got a video over the weekend from someone that was showing me some cereal that was served in some particular school. I refuse to believe that was a school in the Virgin Islands, where there was mold or substances or some kind of stuff inside of the cereal that could not be described but did not look good. Some black particles. And they indicated and circulated that video in saying, this is what the school lunch program have come to. No, we don't want to see those things. Things have to be uplifted. We need hands-on. And I'm talking about hands-on deck by everyone. I'm quite sure that the appropriate administrators could or may have addressed that issue, but whether or not it was addressed in record time, whether or not there's an infrastructure in place to make sure that these things are properly addressed. We'll go to the telephone line and allow for callers to chime in on the conversation. Good morning, you're on the air, Connect the Dots.
Morning, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm listening to you. You connecting a lot of that. Only one thing I hear so far is where do you get a free COVID test? Nobody will be giving you in the States. Because people in the States would say, you have insurance, they take it, they don't charge you. But these people have asking you for insurance and charging you. So that's double dipping. So I want to know where there could be a free test because parents can't just
Well, I'm quite sure that those administrators in that area is listening to the program, and they're
I hope so.
yeah, and hopefully one of them will maybe call the station. It don't have to be my program, but another program to really enlighten the people.
This thing been going on too long.
The question that I would have to ask, the question that I want to ask is, are these COVID tests going to be acceptable for traveling? Because it is one thing to go to a certified lab. It's another thing to have a home test, and what that home test, or who would accept that home test. Are they going to accept the home test for travel? Or do they just accept the home test to return to school? Home test to return to work? What is it?
Right now, the thing that I am on, the train I am on, is that the children can't get a free test. I don't know if they're doing that, but big people can't get a free test. But up in the United States, you could go to a place and get a free test. Meanwhile, with them tests, what they say, they said it out, you know. It went about these children this morning, I ain't seen nobody on the bus.
Yeah.
That's why I worried about.
Yeah. And rightfully
right.
so. Thanks for calling. Yeah, and this is an issue with education. And I know that the Biden administration announced that there was going to be a large number of these free tests being distributed to all the different states and all the different territories for the purpose of putting them in wide circulation. I'm not sure what the Virgin Islands receive, and only those in the administration, Department of Health, maybe. I think Department of Health would be the appropriate party to address that question from a caller as to where these free tests are going to be provided, how they're going to be provided. Are the kids and persons required to show up at a respective or particular site? Are there distribution sites? Well, one of them would have to answer that question, because certainly I don't have that answer. I would hope that, like I said, the appropriate parties can actually call in and let us know. You know, let us know what exactly is, where exactly these people, the citizens need to go and get free tests. Because we're hearing it announced all the time. So that's a question that is posed out there. So again, this is Adler Fonsi Donnerstog, Connect the Dots. And the number to call here at WSTA is 340-774-1340 here at WSTA. Let me go to the telephone. Good morning, you're on the air, Connect the Dots.
Good morning, Mr. Donister. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm blessed. How are you?
I pray that the family is all right and safe. Mr. Donister, this is just so heartbreaking and scary to the utmost. We are worrying about free testing, vaccine, this, that, the other, which is understandable. Has anybody thought about or even asked the emotional psychological and social side effects on our children, from the smallest to the teenager to the preteen, college, prep. My Lord, 2 years going on 3.
Yeah.
You know, the children growing up is not easy. You have to go through different stages, different phase, peer pressure.
Yeah.
You name it. The crime in the community and whatnot. Guns, drugs, you name it.
Yeah.
That children have to face, deal with, and their parents, you know, whether you're working 1, 2, 3 job, have to help your children through these different stages in life. Now we have to deal with this pandemic, school, virtual school, mask, face mask, vaccine, so and the children to absorb
Yeah.
the stress and strain of the mom and dad. You know, so even if this pandemic peak and it phase out or whatever, the after effects
Yeah.
for years to come. I mean, you know, it's just heartbreaking
Yeah.
for our children, you and I. You know, we are accustomed to a little cold, a little flu, stress and strain of growing up, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
You know, you're afraid to go to church, to have a little gathering on the beach, a little carnival, different little things we're accustomed to. I mean, it's just, you know, a young person want to go on a date, want to go to a jam, you know, want to go to a little party. I mean, the psychological side effects is going to be there
Yeah.
for years to come. We see that yet, you know. I am telling you, Mr. Donister, this mess is by design, and it is focusing on our people, people of color, black, brown, light skin. I mean, these things are by design. It's like we are guinea pigs in a test tube. I mean, I just pray 24 hours because I have children and grandchildren coming. And the viciousness and calculated, cold calculatedness of these things is just heartbreaking and scary. Scary to the bones. And you have a blessed day.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you,
calling.
my dear.
Okay, you have a nice day. Bye-bye. Yes, everyone has a concern, and that's a valid concern. When you think about it, I mean, the psychological part of this whole thing, and you know, it's Virgin Islanders are experiencing something like no other. Do you realize that our infrastructure was severely damaged, but our people were affected? And I said from way back that a lot of Virgin Islands could have been affected or be suffering from PTSD because we experienced 2 Category 5 hurricanes. Not 1, 2. We hear Puerto Rico talking about being hit by 2 Category 5 hurricanes. No, they were not. We were the U.S. Virgin Islands. We got hit by Irma. We got hit by Maria. Less than 9 days apart. 7 or 9 days apart. Do you realize how traumatizing that is? the number of Virgin Islanders that perhaps did not get adequate treatment under those conditions. You got people that were roofless, homeless, folks that were just detached, disenfranchised, not through their own fault. Natural disaster. Could you imagine how many people are probably walking around with it and don't know where they're getting this anxiety from and all this stuff? No. We now get hit with a pandemic, and we're dealing with this pandemic the best way we know how. So Virgin Islanders, and when you see these, the slogan that came out, VI strong. Virgin Islanders are really strong. Because let me tell you, I know a lot of people that were not from the Virgin Islands that were living here. They packed up and took off and went back to where they were from, the States. Not every Virgin Islander have that option to decide that they could pick up and move out anywhere. So I have to applaud Virgin Islanders because they are truly resilient. They're the true definition of resiliency. Because going through all these experiences, and then we have this pandemic on top of it, where people have not even fully recovered from 2 hurricanes. Because remember, the pandemic actually hit our shores in 2019. We were still going through the recovery from Hurricanes Irma and Maria that happened in 2017. So look at the time frame. This is not an easy time for the Virgin Islands. Then, of course, we have this pandemic and having to deal with the pandemic as well. No, it's a challenging time. Certainly, I like I said, I could only applaud Virgin Islanders for being so resilient, because this is not anything easy to deal with. It's a tough thing. And I'm sure that at some point, we are going to have to sit, get the appropriate parties, administration, to really do an assessment and a serious evaluation to determine where they could best serve us. Because as it stands now, folks just not that they're only losing hope, but there's a lot of
remember both, I don't know which other hurricanes did it, but they blew out all my windows. Everything was destroyed. And I had to throw everything out, clothes, everything. And to this day, I'm still looking at certain things. I just can't touch it, because I just have to walk out my house. And another thing that you were talking about with the homeless people. Francie, for 5 years, I have been asking and begging and pleading for someone we know we have wealthy landowners who can do like 1/4 acre of land, donate. Because I have investors, I have wanted to do this Dignity Village for the homeless, 10 homes to start with. I even talked to Governor Brian when he was on Eddie Otley's show. He had said call him because it was a good idea. He never responded. You know, everybody said they want to do, but when it comes to actually doing, people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk that they talking. And Sanzi, I applaud you because you put them on the spot. You tell them like it is. And envision tomorrow, before they got the money, everybody just about qualified. After they got the money, oh, third-party generation you are. Oh, you can't do it this way. And I know for a fact because they sat at our disaster case management table and told us what they were going to do, and then all of a sudden they stopped. But if you go up to Cruz Bay, you'll see where they're working out at. You know, and it's so sad that we as locals can't get our just due. And that's sometimes because we are our own worst enemies. We like James Brown, sitting around and talking about nothing. You sit in the closet. Don't sit in the closet no more. Let us unite, boots on the ground, and get it together. And Sanzi, if you don't run for governor this time, I'm going to get you. Love you, thank you, and goodbye.
Well, I chuckle because, you know, it's just one of those things that people just, you know, pop these things up on you, and you have to just appreciate the fact that they have that level of confidence in you. We have a lot of work to do in the Virgin Islands, and of course I know I said last year that I was going to make a public announcement, but things happen sometime that sort of not only shift your focus but shift your plans, because if you have a strategic plan in place and one of the components, one of the variables in that strategic plan is disrupted in any way, removed in any way, then now you have to figure out how you fill that void and how you come back with a solid strategic plan. And, you know, I've always been the type of person to tell you guys, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. If I tell you that I was going to avail myself in this way, that I would. Because I've never lied to the public. I've never deceived the public in any way. And, you know, it's interesting because as Virgin Islanders, when you look at the voting pattern here in the Virgin Islands, it seems as though we are easily distracted, and we allow for deflections to take place where we perhaps narrow in on certain candidates, and we pay attention to the wrong thing, while you got other candidates who land where they have to land, and then you start to speculate that they're robbing the coffers by virtue of their activities and practices. And it's right there in plain view. I don't need to tell you anything. I don't need to get involved in that aspect of commentary because it's right in front of you. And every one of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You see visible signs of the benefits that those that indulge in wrong. And what I don't understand, you know you're doing wrong, but you're still trying to hurt people. They two don't go hand in hand. Well, anyway, let me get off of that soapbox right now. And I'm down to the end of my hour. And I apologize to each and every one of you, for those of you who may not been able to call in. I don't think we have any problems with the phone. It's been smooth. So until next Monday, I just want to wish each and every one of you a blessed day and a productive week. This has been Adler Fonsi Donnerstork for Connect the Dots. Every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. See you next Monday, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Please log in to your mobile phone, television, computer for live streaming or your nearest radio. It's now time to listen to Connecting the Dots. People come, let we go. Turn up the radio. Turn it up. This is the People Show.